In this video, we are going to make the connection between fractions and the cake method. So we have two pieces of vocabulary. The first is the lowest common denominator. Finding the lowest common denominator is one of the applications of the cake method in fractions. And to do that, we find the LCM of the denominators of two fractions. I'll show you how to do this. The second one is a simplified fraction. So if I ask you to simplify a fraction, that means you need to make sure that the numerator and the denominator don't have any GCFs or any common factors greater than 1. So you're going to use both a GCF and a LCM in this video. All right, so first let's talk about common denominators. Common denominators are really important in fractions because we have to have them before we can add or subtract. And to find that common denominator, you find the lowest common multiple of the denominators of the two fractions you're trying to add or subtract. So in this case, I need the LCM of 2 and 8 because that's the denominator, meaning the bottom number of the fraction. So let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to set up a cake with my two numbers in it. I notice that 2 goes into both. And then when I do LCM, I multiply the all around the outside. So 2 times 1 times 4 gives me 8 for my LCM. What that means is that I want both fractions to have a denominator of 8. So the first one, we're already there, 3/8. Fabulous. The second one is not in terms of 8s. It's in terms of a half. So I'm going to write it with an 8 in the bottom, and now I need to figure out what the top number has to be. So the 2, that 8 was 2 times 4. And since 1 is my top number, I need to also multiply 1 by 4. So I'm going to do 1 times 4 and get 4 for my numerator. Now I can add my fractions and get 7/8. Let's try it again. This time, let's find the least common multiple of 3 and 5 so that we can get a common denominator for 2/5 and 1/3. First, we'll set up our cake for 5 and 3. And the only thing I see that goes into both is 1, which would leave me with a 5 and a 3. So then I guess we just multiply 1 times 5 times 3 to get 15. My common denominator is 15. So I rewrite each fraction out of 15. So the first fraction, 2/5, that one we had to multiply by 3 to get 5 to become 15. So then I'll multiply 2 by 3 as well to get 6. The other one we had to multiply by 5. 3 times 5 gave me 15. So now I need to do the top by 5 as well. 1 times 5 to get 5. Finally, I can add those together, which gives me 11/15. The other application of the cake method in fractions is when you're trying to simplify fractions. So let's say we have the fraction 8/20 and we're trying to simplify it. That means that I don't want there to be any common factors between 8 and 20. So I'm going to do a cake to make sure. So right off the bat, I notice that 2 can go into both. That would give me 4 and 10. And looks like 2 can go in again, giving me 2 and 5. So when we're simplifying fractions, this time we're trying to think about greatest common factor, which in this case would be those 2's. So my GCF is 2 times 2, or 4. So to simplify my fractions, we need to divide both the numerator and the denominator by the GCF. So here we're going to divide 8 by 4, and we're going to divide 20 by 4. And 8 divided by 4 will give me 2. 20 divided by 4 will give me 5. Notice that is the same numbers that are down here at the bottom of my cake. All right, let's do another example. This time we're going to simplify 9/15. So we'll start by making a cake. Can't be divided by 2 this time, but 3 can go into both. It looks like that's it. So my GCF is 3. So I divide numerator and denominator by 3, which gives me 3/5, which are the same two numbers that were at the bottom of my cake. All right, for your practice problem tonight, you are going to simplify the fraction 12/30.